Gwan,
Wagwan, wagwan.
everybody. Happy Sunday.
Greetings from the Most High. Joe!
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Blessings for the Most High. Yes. Brr.
What up? Today we have a episode where one of our listeners wanted to come on and challenge some of the concepts that we have been expressing for the past couple of episodes. Mr. Imperial, His Imperial Pimp Juiciness. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
That is the name that was given, so I will respect it. Mr.
I'm good.
His Imperial Pimp Juiciness, Raz the Fire.
The first.
Okay. Greetings, my brother.
Boy,
Greetings,
that name they're no easy at all. That name they're very deep. You can tell us what is going on behind that name. That name they sound tricky. It sounds very, very tricky to me.
It's an old alias. I'm putting it down. It's retired. It's retired. It's from my online
How you
gaming
retire
days.
the name, but you pick it up for this podcast? That means you're coming with violence.
No.
Is that what we're getting?
Never.
Okay, all right.
Never.
Okay,
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
We will see.
No. Challenge is such a big word. I wouldn't say challenge. I would just say, difference of opinion.
I can't wait. I'm excited for this episode. Let's go.
Well, the first one, I shared that
Say it
with
with your
Dre.
chest. Say it with your
I'm
chest.
saying it with my chest. And I ain't got to scream it to say it. Like, the ratio of men is not 10 to 1 to women. It's 1-1.
Alive.
So a lot of ideas are formulated with this concept. Like, there's a lack in number of available men for women, and it's not true.
Alive.
It feels good to say it, but it's not true. And I'm a man. I benefit from the lie, but it's not true.
So you said the actual ratio is 1 to 1, one woman to one man.
Statistically, if you want to like do it a mathematical number, it's like 97 men to every 100 women. So as a percentage, you're pretty much 1 to 1. You hear what I'm saying? The difference being
Even in Atlanta.
Atlanta is no different from anywhere else. Because here's what, even when people want to take the concept of men's sexuality into the play, women, there's many bisexual women, lesbians, whatever. So as many as you can chip away as the heterosexual men, you can chip away the heterosexual women too. So the numbers the numbers take care of themselves. You get what I'm saying? So everyone says, "Oh, all these men are gay and all these men are bisexual." Okay, that is true, and it completely ignores the fact that there are a lot of gay and bisexual women as well. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you a question. And why are women complaining about there being no good men so much, and not vice versa?
I'll tell you why, and this is in my opinion. I can only speak my opinion. I think it's easier to say that there are no good men than to actually internalize, turn your lens inward and focus on you. Because a lot of times we want to attract something that we are not. Like, I'm a person who believes in the law of attraction, and you attract what you are, not what you want. You attract what you are.
Mm-hmm.
So if you attract, Cat Williams had a really good joke where he said, there comes a point where if you're always saying, men ain't ish, there comes a point when you have to ask yourself, well, what is it about me? If you keep on saying men ain't ish, what is it about you that attracts ain't ish men? At some point, you have to look
Right.
inward. What is the common denominator? If all these people you're dating are so terrible, what do they have in common? You. So you are the point of attraction. Now, I'm saying it's easier to say there are no good men out there than to actually say, well, what is it about me that attracts this? And do the work on myself so that I could become what it is that I desire. Because what I know to be true is you do not attract what you want, you attract what you are.
You're frying Ali's brain right now because he fancies himself as a benevolent human being who is helping out the human race by wanting to lend himself to as many females as possible. He says two, but I say many, right? Because the numbers are skewed, right? In his idea prior to today is it's like 10 or 20 to 1.
Yeah.
So he's being the
No, I
benevolent.
never said 10 or 20 to 1. I never said. Did I say 10 or 20 to 1?
How much you think it is? How much you thought it was?
In all honesty, I think it's 1 to every probably 2 or 4.
Okay, fine. So 1 to every 2 to 4. I'm sure if we go back to a podcast, you said it probably is closer to 20. But I'm gonna let you slide for the sake of this conversation.
In Atlanta,
right?
in Atlanta, definitely.
No, no. Why do you say that? I'll admit Atlanta has a very, what's the word, open or accepted atmosphere for gay men and homosexual men and bisexual men. But I will say this, and I'll stand on it. First of all, a lot of, we're not even talking into women who identify themselves as bisexual or lesbian. I have spoken to many of the women in my circle, and I've been surprised to find out that many women who identify themselves as heterosexual have actually had lesbianic experiences.
I agree with that. But let's ask a question. Do women who have had bisexual experiences want men who have had bisexual experiences?
I can't speak to that. That has nothing to do with what I'm saying as far as ratio being 1 to 1. What a woman wants, I can't speak to that. All I'm saying is it applies across the board. As many men who are actively heterosexual and gay, you're going to find equal, probably even more women who are actively bisexual and gay. One of the main reasons is women are more accepting of themselves when women are more flexible sexually. So the number actually it propagates itself continuously. It just remains 1 to 1. And the beautiful thing about it is it's nature. Nature always maintains balance. It always does.
Yes, sir.
You'll find one guy who has 6 sons and you'll find another guy who has 6 daughters. Nature always maintains balance. It's just what it is. But go ahead. That's just one of the things I wanted to point out as far as the ratio of men to women. It's really just 1 to 1.
Why Rochelle
So I'm ready to talk right now. So where did this great myth come from, and what is the benefit of creating such a myth?
Where did it come from? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea. It's something you can dismantle with one Google search. So I have no idea where it comes from. As far as who benefits from it,
obviously me.
Well, if I'm gonna be honest, and this is again my opinion, I think who benefits from that myth are people who, and this is for men and women alike, people who do not want to look inward and grow when it comes to relationships and accountability and responsibility. Because again, it's easier for a woman to justify being in a situation where, well, there are no good men around, and he's here and he's this, and I can deal with this and that, and men, I think, who, of course, it benefits them because you can just run off and say, hey, look at the numbers. All these men are gay, all these men on the down low, blah, blah, blah. There are not too many heterosexual men out there, educated, this, that, and the third. Whatever they use to jack it up to make it seem like they're like one in a million, and you should be grateful for the opportunity to have their time. Um, but overall, I think if people just really sat back and just took a breath, just get on your computer, couple of searches, you'll figure it out, and then
Okay.
you don't have to settle.
Get Rochelle, bro.
Hey,
Get Rochelle. Get Rochelle.
I'm not
I
trying to
don't know
get her.
why. I don't know why.
Get her.
You see, Dre just
Get
wants
her.
violence, and I'm
I,
just for peace. I'm just for peace and love. You know what I'm saying? This man is just for violence.
I,
Well, this shows you why men should not have two and three women. So,
I'm
if
not gonna say that.
anything, we're going for all the men next, right? Who
I'm
say,
not gonna
"Oh,
say
we
that.
short, so now y'all need to share
No,
us."
no, no,
No, we don't. Boo
no.
boo, we don't need to share you. I'm happy you came on here to prove my point and to get Dre to say, "Listen, all y'all men with y'all little eeny weeny stuff trying to share with all these
Wow.
women, you need to go sit down. Y'all need to
Well,
go sit
here's
down."
my thing. I
Okay.
think if you as an individual are someone who is inclined to polyamory, male or female, I think you should
You always
exercise that.
using these
If
big
that's your
words.
one,
Why you come
listen.
up? Hold on. Why you coming up here using big words? Use like a simple word, but me can't understand. Me don't
Okay.
understand all of them big words you're
To the
using.
men and the women
Mhm.
who
Mhm.
believe that they are suited best to have multiple lovers and multiple
Mhm.
loves, I think they should
Okay.
have that. I think if the premise for that is that there is a lack on the other side as far as numbers, I think that is a false premise. If the reason you want to engage in polyamory is because, or I'm sorry, having more than one lover is because you simply enjoy the company of multiple people, then that's fine. You can do that. You should do that. As long as everybody knows what's going on, I
Okay.
think you should be
And it's that
honest.
part for me. It's that part for me because
Hmm.
many times the men wanna have their multiple, but then it's a secret. No, do it with your chest and say, "Listen, I'm gonna be
Hey,
sharing," okay? And then give that woman the choice. She could be like, "Babe, you know what? You're
hey,
worth it, and I
you
think
know
you're
what?
all that. So go. You know what? Share yourself." Or she
I
can be like, "Nah, go sit down." You know what I'm saying? But give her a say in this whole choice.
I
So
would
I
like
agree with
to
you.
I would like to just push back a little bit on the premise that this is mainly a male thing,
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
because there are many women who exercise the same lifestyle with the same level of dishonesty. And
Mm.
yes, and I will say,
Get him. Get him.
as of late, what I like, what I thank Judge, what is her name, Tolbert, all these, you are not the fathers that have been popping up, and with all these women, because women have been more successful at hiding their infidelity, except where there was a child conceived, and that's the only hard evidence that there's been that someone slipped out. So I'm just gonna say there's not great difference between men and women. There's this whole myth that men are more sexual than women. It's not true. There's all these myths out there in our society where as we get older, we should actually just stop looking at societal anecdotes, but look at your life. Look at yourself. Um, Rochelle, is it?
Yes,
Yeah.
May I
yes,
ask your
yes.
age, if you don't mind? May I ask your age?
You want the public age or the private age? Which one you want?
I mean the truth, whichever it is.
Okay, I'm about to be 40.
Oh, beautiful. So I'm gonna ask you this question. Do you find that you are more uh I'm not saying sexually active now, but are more amorous, or you have more sexual moments or arousals now as in when you were younger?
I don't think it's more. I just understand my body more, and therefore the pleasure is way more enjoyable. So therefore, I want more, and I'm more open to new things.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for being honest. What I have learned in my life, I'm 45. What I have learned in my life is there is this interesting, I guess I wouldn't call it a paradox, but kind of between men and women. Whereas when we peak at different times sexually, men tend to peak younger and women tend to peak older. And I think that's just nature's way of keeping us going. Men are way more interested in sex when they're teenagers and early 20s than they are when they're like in their 40s. And I find the reverse with women. And I think women probably would be more interested in sex at a younger age if the people they had sex with actually brought them pleasure versus just use them as pincushions. But I think as women get older, they do, as you say, know themselves more, kind of are more aware of what they want, what they need, what they like. So it becomes more pleasurable. And as it becomes more pleasurable, it becomes more desirable. Unfortunately, because sex is always pleasurable for men, well, for the most part, it's always it's desirable. But as you get to really enjoy, sex as intended, and unfortunately that happens too many times as women get older versus when they start having sex, their appetite for it increases. So I would say when it comes to sexual activity and sexual energy, the myth that men are more sexual creatures than women it's just that. It's a myth. It's not even true. We can't even keep up with y'all.
And that is a fact. And that is why I don't understand why because you said that's a myth. So I won't repeat that. Right? Because if anything, women should be the one with 2 and 3 husbands. Because, as you men climax, you're like, done. Like, let me go sleep. But for the woman, you're like, oh, we just ready now. Let's start this. So what is we doing? You know what I'm saying? So if anything, we should be the one with multiple partners. All right, sorry, except Ali.
No. There are other men. No, there are other men, but he's right. That's not every man. But typically, it is what it is. It is something that happens to most of us. It's a chemical thing that happens after we have an orgasm. There are some hormones that are released into our system that make us sleep. It makes us sleepy, and it's an interesting thing, even biochemically, what happens with men and with women. And I wish more women even understood that. Like, you have sex with a man and he falls asleep, just lay under him. Lay under him. That's when he's acceptable. He's susceptible to your pheromones, your hormones. Like, he bonds with you more in that state while he's sleeping after he has sex with you than you're walking around talking, going on dates and all that kind of stuff. Like, he's actually bonding with you on a chemical level. If you allow him to sleep and you just stay next to him, like curl up under him and let him get your scent, we're mammals, we're animals. It's a really interesting thing that I think a lot of women miss out on. It's just like, oh my God, he fell asleep. I'm frustrated. Like,
y'all just trying to turn the Gwan podcast into some Love Jones stuff.
No.
Come on, man.
We can talk about. No, we can.
What else you got on here to talk about?
We can talk about that.
Hold on. A quick Google search told me that there is 100 women to every 88 men as of 2019 survey. And secondly, I want to say then, if it is 1-to-1 in your opinion, then a whole bunch of Muslims have it wrong, and they got to look inwards.
No.
You got to convince millions and millions of Muslims that they got to look inwards.
I don't have to convince them of anything. That's their religion and cultural practice. I don't think it's a matter of lack. I think it's a matter of, I think in the Muslim community, it says you can have as many wives as you can care for. I think. I could be wrong, but I think that is the concept.
No, you're right. Up to four.
So even at that point, there's a limit. So if you can be the wealthiest dude and you're still capped out, be it through religion or societal norm, at 4. So it's not like, and it's not every Muslim has multiple wives. It's, it's
No,
just,
no.
so it's, I think, again, balance, and when it comes to like matters of like, I think religion and faith and culture, um, I kind of leave it. I kind of stay away from that. I just say to people like, if this is something you are interested in doing, um, if it is your authentic self, be honest with your partners. I would say this to young men all the time. I'll be like, listen, nothing is better than getting with somebody that they know the truth. I'm like, you might miss out on some opportunities, but nothing beats being with someone who knows who you are, what you are. Nothing beats that.
Mm.
Yes, there's a girl
So
you think she's cute, but she's gonna say no. Well, let her say no. It's okay. Nothing is better than the yes. A woman who knows you are seeing other women, who knows, you know what I mean? That's comfortable with that idea. Because if you tell her and then she moves forward, I mean, you should assume she's comfortable with the idea. If she's not and she moves forward, that's on her and that's out of your hand. There's nothing you could have done about that if she lied to herself. Go ahead,
yo,
Ali.
so y'all heard it, ladies. Y'all heard it here first. Mike said there's no shortage of men. It's all your fault. Look within.
But that goes both ways too, because I think women can have multiple male partners if they want. Again, just be honest. I don't. There's no shortage either way, and there's some people who don't want to be in relationships. There's some women who don't want to be in relationships. There's some men who don't want to be in relationships, and that's
Yeah.
fine too.
I find that sometimes when women are lesbians, though, not saying all the time, but sometimes when they are, it comes from sometimes male trauma that they experience.
That's true. That's true. It's
You know?
the
Whereas a woman might not want to mess with a man who is also having anal play with himself. You know what I mean? Within himself. Like that. I don't like a man would mess with a bisexual woman faster than a woman would mess with a bisexual man. Am I lying, Rochelle? Am I making that up or what?
I think it depends on the woman. I think some women they probably like that. Probably they're into that kind of thing. So it just depends on your partner. Some people are open to all those, some women are not. So again, that just depends on your partner and what they like.
Rochelle.
Hold on. I ain't say me. Now, hold on. I'm just speaking. I'm saying
So your
in
toys ain't for you
general.
alone, Rochelle? Your
Hold
toys
on.
is not for you alone, Rochelle. That's what you saying,
Hold
Rochelle.
on, hold on, hold on,
Rochelle.
hold on. All I'm saying is that depending on the woman, maybe that is what rolls her boat. Maybe that is what makes the boat roll. I don't know. But some people are like, nope, put that down. So it just depends on who you're talking to. I have known females, and they're my friends, who they're into that thing. And they're very proud about it. And they're like, yeah, if he's into that, I'm going to give him what he needs. Right? Whatever. But some people are like, nope. So it just depends on the female.
Okay, so this conversation sure enough took a turn for the worse. Do you have any other things you heard, Mr. Pimpness, that you wanted to talk about?
Well, I mean, why is that a turn for the worse? There are. I don't understand. That is
All
a
right, so I'm
reality.
gonna mute
Andre,
myself
Andre,
while y'all have this discussion, all right?
Andre say, yo, X me out. Andre say, X me out.
I'm gonna just give Andre a hug because Andre is the first one who likes to say "do you," and apparently he doesn't believe that.
No, I'm saying y'all
Andre's
I'm
like,
leaving y'all. I'm leaving y'all to do y'all. I'm saying I'm gonna go left while y'all stay right here.
No, listen, I'm just
Andre
saying.
said, do you until we reach that one part in the road. He's like, okay.
But I don't even
This
know
is
the part in
Mike.
the
business.
road. Yes.
Mike, what's some of the
Yes.
foolishness you heard on the show that you want to
I
debunk?
wouldn't call it foolishness. I'm not going to call anyone's opinion or belief foolishness. I wouldn't call it foolishness. I call it entertaining. Um, one of the episodes I was listening to
Opinion.
the double standard of, Andre, who's running off right now, regarding sexual assault and rape and the time frame to report. and all of that stuff. That was a little scary to listen to for me. Um,
Yeah.
because and Ali,
You're not
big
the
ups to
only
you.
one. You weren't the only one.
Big ups to you, Ali. Because it's so wonderful to have the perspective of a person who understands timing. Whereas in
Yeah.
you, it always sounds good in your head what you think you would do until something actually
Right.
happens to you.
Until you get punched in the face, like Mike Tyson said.
Yeah, you always got a plan until you get punched in the face. So it's like I
Right.
would just say, with when it comes to sexual trauma and reporting, it's 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 not black and white. There's a lot of gray. There's so much
Hmm.
gray that yeah, some people never report at all. Some people take that to the grave. Like it is there's no
You know how
black
much
and white.
men went to jail and will never tell their story.
Facts.
You know.
Facts.
So, so,
Yeah.
so, as it relates to, I stand 10 toes down. If my son gets molested by an older woman and that's what he wanted, I'm going to take him to the side and silently give him a fist bump and then tell him, son, you should probably wait.
Okay.
And if a man mess with my daughter, he going to jail.
What if a
He,
man?
No, I think he was saying more about the timing that it would take for her
well,
No,
he
to
said no.
tell you.
I'm with
He was,
all of it.
yeah,
I'm with all of it. I'm with the timing part as far as sexual assault, what sexual assault is. I think the idea that if somebody wanted something, because here's the thing, if you're gonna say that your son wanted it, it's okay, then why is it not okay if your daughter wanted it?
because
Mm.
because
Because you're
sex.
saying her opinion is not valid. You're saying your
No,
son's opinion is
No, I
valid
think
because he wanted
what
it,
I'm gonna
but your daughter's
now
opinion is
what I'll
not
say
valid
is
because she wanted it.
what I'll say is to back up Dre. Physically, a grown man going inside a little girl is 10 times worse than a woman putting her on a man, on a boy.
well, there's that, and
What?
also,
What is
the
happening? What?
consequence, the consequence, the consequence is different, right? So this grown man could possibly impregnate or provide, give, my daughter some kind of STD,
But
right?
the
And
same thing could have happened to your son. The
yes,
grown
Yes,
woman could have gotten pregnant and she could have given your
yes,
son an
yes.
STD or STI.
But if the grown
But his
woman
son
got
don't gotta take
pregnant,
care of that kid.
who
if
told you
right,
that?
so
Why
if
not?
if the if the grown woman got pregnant, right, then she's pregnant, not my son. That's the first thing. Yes, true, she could have
Mm.
given him an STD, right? But she's who is pregnant, not him. That's the first thing. Second thing, there probably wouldn't be any trauma there, right? Because if a grown man is messing with my daughter, it's highly likely, right? Okay, let's walk down this road with you guys. So let's say my daughter did want it, right?
Hmm.
And they did the do, right? It's not going to last. Right? As soon as I find out, there's going to be a problem. If her mom finds out, there's going to be a problem. And so this guy is really just feeding some urge he has. And it's likely, let me say likely, he's likely feeding some urge he has. And when he's done, one, she's going to be hurt because he's leaving, which I knew, which is why I'm pissed. And two, yeah, you wanted it, but again, sex for a woman is different than it is for a guy. Women are, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm glad you're on the line, Rochelle. Women are more emotionally involved when it comes to sex than men.
No,
So what? Excuse me,
they're not. It's not true.
I'm
Rochelle.
gonna agree with Dre on that. I'm
It's
agree with
easy.
Dre on that.
It's
Hold
easy
on.
to agree with Dre on that.
We don't need to debate amongst ourselves. There's a young lady on the line, Rochelle. What's your opinion on that subject?
Again, it depends on the type of a woman. You have women who are very sentimental, who, they believe it's more. Again, you also have men who are the same way. And then you have women who are just like very calculative, like everything is for a certain reason, and therefore it doesn't matter to them. So it's not one blanket fits everybody.
Listen,
Like everybody has their own reason and has their own emotional level attached to whatever they're doing. Normally, the saying is that women are more emotionally tied because we don't want to give it up to everybody that just passes by, right? So you have more, that you're more selective in who you want to give it to. But I feel like it goes both ways. You have guys who are very sentimental as well, who they're not going to just lay down with every and anybody. So I guess it just depends on the person
I'm gonna
again.
just ask this question. I'm gonna just ask this question. How many men are in jail because of some woman having sex with another man? And how many women are in jail because of some man having sex with another woman? Men are actually as emotional about sex as women. It's again mythology that is spread.
So
It's
you're talking about infidelity
I'm
emotion, and
I'm
that's
talking
a
about emotion period because you bond to someone that you have sex with. You do. Men don't like to admit it. Men like to go ahead and pretend like they don't have feelings, they don't catch feelings. It's a myth and it's a lie because that woman that your son had sex with at 14, let him find out his classmate had sex with that same woman. It would break his soul. It would break his soul.
I don't know.
Yes,
I
it
don't
would.
know.
Yes, it would. Yes, it
I
would.
don't, me at 14, I would have been like, "Oh, word, damn, she giving it up to everybody. Good for you, bro."
Hmm. All right.
Ying
Listen.
yang
Listen,
yang.
listen. I think the emotion you just tried to make a point, and I don't think is a valid one.
Okay.
You just tried to make a point that women, there are a lot of men who are in jail because their woman slept with another guy. That's true, right? But I think the jealousy emotion is different from the love emotion in
What do you think
terms of
fuels it?
um obviously I don't know, it's probably the same thing, right?
Yeah, the love is
But
what fuels the jealousy. It's the possessiveness. It's I want this for myself. I'm invested
yeah,
in
but that
this.
same guy who's in jail probably had three girls. So it's not always it's a possession kind of jealousy, not a love jealousy.
Oh, you're equating
Oh,
fidelity to love. That is not the same thing. Loving someone and not being intimate with other people, those are not mutually exclusive. They're not.
Yeah,
I
but
would not say I would not
how
say a
are
man is having relationships with more than one woman because he doesn't love any of them. Or I wouldn't say that. I would just say he's having more than one relationship because he loves himself a lot.
he
I
loves
wouldn't say that.
himself, not the
Yeah.
woman.
But he loves the woman too.
You just proved my point.
No, no, no.
You
He
just
loves the
said
woman too, but loving someone does not necessarily mean you're your being involved with another person sexually is not a reflection of your love for your partner. It's not.
that's true.
so your initial statement, and usually your initial response is the true response. Your initial response was his love for himself. And that's why he's in jail, because he wants to have as many toys as he wants, not her. And how dare her do the same thing that I'm doing with this whatever. And so he does, whether it's to her or he does it to the guy, whatever it is, right? And now he's in jail with a bunch of,
That's
right?
not about that, but
So
that response is not about how dare her do what I did. That's not how that operates. That is this hurt. The idea of somebody's penis being in her vagina hurts my spirit. It hurts my being. I have a physical
it's a
response to that.
violation of my possession.
I don't know about possession, but
Yeah,
it feels very bad.
that's
But
how most guys
Yes,
view
monogamy
their
is
women.
but
monogamy
what you're
is set up
saying,
as
what
possessive loving.
but what you said was he is saying, "How dare you do what I did?" And that's not where he comes from at all. Where he comes from is, "Ouch, this really hurts, and I want to take that negative energy. I have to blame someone for that negative energy, so I'm going to focus on either her or him or the
What you
guy."
just said, Ali?
I said monogamy is about possessive loving. I would agree with that. We both
Well,
on
that's a
guard for
different
each
thing.
other's, we both guarding each other's private parts.
Denied.
But Mike, I wanted to ask you this. You ready for
Mhm.
this?
Wait a second, man.
If yes, exactly. Mike, I wanna I
Sure.
wanna ask you this, Mike. So if the ratio is 1-to-1, man to woman,
Hmm.
then why are all these men cheating, and who are they cheating with?
Um,
Why did Tiger Woods have 18 women?
because he could. I think this is something I wanted to touch on, and I'm gonna say it, and I don't know who will agree with it, but it's just a theory that I have going. I think most men who get caught up in infidelity and cheating and crimes of opportunity, as you will, I would say most of those men have unresolved issues with self-esteem. Here's why I say this. Males, not men, but males, heterosexual males become interested in females, I want to say from like 7, 8, 9, 10. You know who you like. I mean, you don't know what you're going to do with her, but you know you like her. So very early on, males are interested in the affections or gaining the affections of the opposite sex, heterosexual males. However, the amount of times that the heterosexual male is rejected when he approaches a woman, it has a cost. It has a psychological cost that most men don't even realize they've paid. And it's not until maybe their late 20s, their late 30s, they probably come to themselves and realize it, that they've been running around with low self-esteem. I look at it as this. When you're used to hearing no, you know, be it 6 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10, you're used to hearing no. One, you're not even equipped to respond to an advance. When you're used to the one approaching women, and I'll speak for myself. I'm a, what do you call it, a late bloomer, ugly duckling, whatever. I didn't come into my stride until like 18, 19. But I always liked girls since I was like 8. No one paid attention to me. No love, no nothing, no nothing, no nothing. And I chased and I chased and I chased and I chased. And by the
Denied.
time I got to about 19, 20, I was a little taller, my shoulders were a little broader, had some hair on my face, whatever you want to call it. People started approaching me.
What is this?
I wasn't used to that. So I found myself giving myself away to people that I normally wouldn't even have interacted with, just because it's almost like, wait, are you interested in me? You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times I think men find themselves in situations because they've never really addressed that issue. That's the scarring from, like, most times I approached women when I was 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I heard no, that I was not even prepared for a woman approaching me to say, hey, I like you. You don't even know what to do with that. So because you don't know what to do with that, you're gone. You're in there, and before you know it, you're doing stuff you didn't necessarily want to do. And I say the reverse is so. When people say, well, women, you know, are more have more self-control, I will say it's because the reverse is the case. Women are used to rejecting men and male advances for a very, very long time. So not anybody that comes to a woman can actually even get her attention, because she's been rejecting them since she was a little girl. So now that she's a woman, it's whatever. She's more selective. But a reason a lot of men aren't really faithful, I want to say in their early 20s, 30s maybe, is because they haven't come to the point where they realize, like, oh shit, I am worthy, I am special, I am I am a prize.
Pull it, pull it, pull it,
It's just
pull it,
like, wow,
pull it.
before when I asked, they said no. Now they're saying yes. And now I don't even have to ask. Now they're even coming up to me. So I want to say, like, a lot of reasons that I think a lot of men are involved in infidelity, it's because, and this is just my opinion, is because they have low self-esteem and they haven't come to the point yet where they realize that they're the prize. Now I'm saying, when you've come to the point where you realize you're the prize and you're healthy emotionally, psychologically, and you want to be involved with more than one person because that is just your preference as an individual, knock yourself out. Because if you're in a healthy space, I promise you, you're not even involved in lying to women about what you want, what you need, because you already understand, I am a prize. I'm not the prize, but I am a prize. So I'm going to try to live my life in a way that makes me happy. But that's just my opinion.
I like it.
I
I like
agree with
that.
him 100%. I really, really do. Because women, we're tricky people, right? Because number one, you really don't know who you are, especially if you didn't grow with a father or a strong support to tell you, listen, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're all of this, right? It's very hard for you to even want to talk to guys who you don't think fit into this category that probably no guy even fits into, to be frank, right? And maybe the one guy that you actually choose, he could be the worst guy, right? He's everything that you should not pick. That's the one that you go for because there wasn't an example for you to say, listen, it's not just about looks. A lot of girls like, oh, I was reading a Twitter post and the girl was like, oh, I want a guy that I'm going to go out with and then I have to bail him in the morning. Like, what? What do you mean? So you want to go with a guy that's going to commit a crime and then you have to bail him out in the morning? And that's who she wants to attract. That's who she's looking for. But that's definitely, you're 30 or 40 or 50. This is not the road that you really want to stay on. But women go through all these different phases, and not to take up for them, but it's just crazy, especially when you don't have a role model in the house, very young, telling you this is what you're worth, this is what you need in your life, this is where you need to be. You know, your mom is working 2-3 jobs. She's not there. She doesn't have the time to sit down and tell you all these things. So basically, you're still trying to figure out everything, and you're making a whole lot of mistakes. Because I'm sure you were a good guy, and not many women were attracted to you because probably you were not the ideal for them at the time. But then when they saw, oh, okay, and I'm sure the women that probably approached you, probably they had all of their little, things going on, and then they decided, I'm going to need somebody who's going to have this, that. I need all of this. And probably that was when you became more appealing to them as you got older. So it's really, really tricky. And I think that's why we need all these men to stand up and just be the father that they need to be for their daughters moving forward.
Yes, I
I wasn't a good guy, though. I'll say that.
You were not?
No, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't even know what to do with a girl. I'm saying, who can be a good guy as a teenager? Granted, my dad and my mom were together, all that kind of stuff. But I wasn't a good guy. I wasn't trifling. What's the word I'm looking for? I was a one woman, one girl boy, if that's good, you know, until, you realize people can be trifling. There was this one girl, I'll tell you the example. And people do things to you that traumatize you. You really have to unlock it as you get older. There's this one girl I really liked. And she, for some reason, she liked everybody but me. She liked my brother. My brother's 3 years older than me. This girl was like maybe a year older than me. She had the nerve to be like, why can't you be like your brother?
Bruh.
What? How do you say that to someone? How do you say that to someone who's like 13? You know what I mean? But she was a little girl herself, so she there was no malice. She was being honest, but that's how she felt. So in incidents like that kind of color how you interact with women, unfortunately, sometimes. Because the more interactions you have that are negative like that, I've had, oh, you're too young, you're too short. Um, a lot of you're too. And eventually you just start looking at women differently, like almost like they're the enemy. And then there are these idiots that are in your head that almost get you to believe that when you're honest with a woman, she's no interest in you. So it's someone you have to like almost trick and trap and hunt and all this other stuff. And just all these layers of bad information. I think we act out in our late teens and early 20s. And hopefully by the time we get to our 30s, we're like, oh God, this was so stupid.
Yeah.
And we
Yo,
get to heal a little bit. But go ahead.
let me say something. Although I agree with you that women do have higher sex drives than men at certain points in time,
Hmm.
women also, and Rochelle, Dre, y'all could step in and agree or disagree with me. I agree with Dre what he was saying. A man is not as emotionally attached to sex. Men for sex is like a scratch in our backs. I could still love my wife at home and have sex with somebody, and that doesn't change how I feel about my wife.
Hmm.
Women do this thing, even though they have a higher sex drive for one 4 days to a week, they are not capable of having sex. I don't know. Some people are nastier than others, but or more curious than others, I want to say. But
Nasty.
agree with me on this, guys, or not. I've been through this several times. A woman can be mad at you and she doesn't want you to have sex with her or touch her. It will never be like that for a man. A man will never be like, yo, I'm so mad at you, I don't want to have sex with you. Do y'all agree with that or disagree with that? Rochelle?
I disagree. I disagree because I've been that guy. Like, get away from me.
Oh my God.
You've been the guy that turned down the woman and was like, nah, not tonight?
Hell yeah, if I ain't feeling you right now. Hell yeah.
Target neutralized.
Okay, what about you, Rochelle? Have you ever done that to a guy? Is that more likely to happen to the man or the woman, Rochelle?
So I'm gonna speak on behalf of Rochelle, and this is a no judgment zone. Okay.
It is.
Okay. All right. Let me sit up for this one. Okay.
Rochelle
Let me
about to
tell
say,
you
if he
something.
got that good, I'm going in. I don't care how mad I am. I'm going to go get it.
Okay. I'm about to say that. Okay. I will be mad at you, not speak to you, and if it's good, I'm gonna get some and then turn my back and not speak to you for the night. Like, just shut up. I'm still mad and go to sleep. How
No
about
one's
that?
judging you.
Okay.
No one's judging you.
So I guess that's only happened to me. Dre, you never experienced anything like that?
I mean, why are things happening
Before
to you?
you
We
were
need to
married,
discuss
Dre?
this.
Where a woman is like, don't touch me, I'm mad at you?
I agree with you, Ali. I think more women, you see, again, like when it comes to sex, women have more self-control than men. And so, because of that, they might want to, like Rochelle said, she would go get hers and then go to sleep. But most women, if the stories men are telling is true, most women will hold it back because they're upset.
I'm going
While
to tell you something. And Rochelle can tell me if I'm a bull-faced lie, but I'm going to tell you this. If your love making is that thing, nah. If you presenting it, she gonna take it. She gonna take it every time, even if she's mad, and she'll do just that. She'll take it, and then say, "I'm still not talking to you. Go sleep or whatever." But nah, only I think 9 times out of 10, if you're someone who's being tolerated versus celebrated in bed, yeah, that's when you'll get shut out when she's mad because it's not something she wants to do in the first place. So, like, all right, fine. But so I really got to be happy with you to put this there. But if you're being celebrated versus tolerated, oh yeah, when it comes on the table, she gonna take it. She gonna take it. She
Damn,
gonna
he
do
I
it.
shut me.
agree. I
He
agree. I
shut me
agree.
down.
No,
Denied.
I
And
agree
I've been here for a minute,
100%.
player. I've been here for a minute. His Imperial Pimp juiciness. Come on.
They forgot.
Yo,
They forgot.
buddy.
That's why I read out the name to make sure
Yo,
that everyone was aware, but they done forgot.
yo, he shut me down.
But here's the thing, right? I say this. I was gonna write a book and I decided not to because it's really not my business. I was gonna write a book that was geared towards helping men become better partners, become better lovers. Um, because we are clueless. We are just clueless. And I happen to be fortunate enough at a young enough age. I was 23 and I got involved with a woman who was 36. And she put me in school. And from that day on, the game was just different for me. So I'm just saying, most times men think they're doing something. You're not. You're not. Your ego might tell you you are, and she might not want to hurt your feelings, may not tell you nothing. But you will know the first time you're celebrated, you will understand the difference, and then that will be the only thing you push towards moving forward. You will never, ever accept being tolerated.
Perfect.
You would work towards being celebrated.
And how easy is it for a man to have this sexual conquest in a monogamous relationship for 10, 15, 20 years?
To have what? To be celebrated for 10, 15, 20 years?
Yeah. How easy is that?
It's not
And for him
difficult.
to not get tired of the same thing.
I can speak to that. It's very easy. Tired of the same thing. I don't know about tired of the same thing. Yeah, I can't speak to tired of the same thing. Wow.
Ali, let me step in right here for you, my brother.
Get him, Dre.
My little brother. When you have let a woman see stars, trust me when I tell you, you will always chase giving her that euphoric feeling.
Facts.
Because it boosts your pride to know that you just let this girl see stars. Man, the first time I heard that, I was just like, what you say?
Okay,
Yeah,
hold on. So on
that's
that
until
note,
she complain about you not taking out the trash.
She'll
She's
stop
still gonna do
complaining.
that. She's gonna complain about the trash. It'll come back. It doesn't go away
okay,
forever.
so hold on. So gentlemen, okay, so let me ask you this question. This guy posted on Twitter this past week. I don't know if anybody saw it.
I didn't.
But he said he been with mad girls and he never brought anybody to the stars. And he was like, so therefore it is impossible for a woman to do that. And then the men were like, sir, if you're whack in bed, you should just say that. Like, it's okay. So what are your men's thoughts on that?
So it's the same thing. Like guys who never had women who gush and say the women that's doing it is faking.
Right.
It's the same exact thing.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's not that hard. I mean, there are two ways to do it. There's the healthy way and there's the unhealthy way because it requires a reprogramming of the man. The healthy way is if you find a man who's actually open to feedback, who's actually listening to understand and really trying to figure out what his partner is into, then it's not hard to just literally stop and listen. I would say this to guys all the time. Dude, you've got all the feedback you need. Pay attention to her breathing. Listen to her, like literally listen to her. Look at her skin. What's going on? Feel her temperature. Like you're in class. When you're like being intimate with your partner, you are in class. That's what I tell them. Like the first 2 to 3 times you're intimate with a woman, it is a study session. You are cramming. You are trying to figure out who she is. It's not about your nut. It's not about your stroke. It's about what is this person responding to? And once you find those things, giving them more of those things. If you find an open man to that, it's going to be great. The second part is the part where if a woman is really interested in experiencing the most pleasure from her partner, she has to be willing to crush his ego. So she has to be willing to say, you did absolutely nothing right there. Nothing. Let me tell you what it is that I need. Because a lot of us, we go to our new partners thinking that they're our old partners. So what worked with this girl is going to work with this girl. It don't work that way. Everyone is different. And unfortunately, our egos, we just, we think even if you had Jennifer seeing stars, when you start seeing Becky might not see those stars because Becky's a different formula. She is.
Yeah.
And you have to take the time to learn her formula so that you can do the same thing. But I say it's half of the issues that we have so many women who are unsatisfied sexually. It's a terrible number. I think only about 25% of women experience orgasms, and it's something like maybe 10% of them experience it vaginally. It's some scary numbers out there.
I want to say from my experience that I've, growing up with a male dominance thing, I've had sex and climax 6 times in a night for multiple weeks straight, 5 times trying to prove a point. And I've realized now in my older age that
anybody got time for that?
Oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
No, not even that. It's a double thing though. It's a double-edged thing. It's like not only are you weak, but you can ejaculate so much that you lose your testosterone and you become more, as Rochelle would say, effeminate. And the woman can become more of the leader. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that. So what I find beautiful now is to practice something called semen retention, which is where you have sex that you don't ejaculate at times.
Oh, so you basically live like 75% of women in our society.
Right, exactly.
Ouch.
Exactly. It's a good practice for men, and it's a good way to retain your testosterone.
They're not practicing,
and
it's
it
against
doesn't have to
their
be
will,
every
trust
time.
me.
Yeah. Word. Exactly. I've heard some Buddhist monks saying like a man should ejaculate at max once per month.
He can go to hell with that. The devil is a lie.
What are you listening to?
The devil is a lie.
I mean, like, the ejaculation for men are electric and women are magnetic. So all of our energy that we give, y'all take it and receive it. You understand? So while us having sex and ejaculating may make us tired, for a woman it's going to be like, yo, I'm up, I need more.
Fire!
You know what I mean? It's not the same effect.
But I'm gonna say this. Jesus, man, there's so many things running around, and it's not that there isn't truth to any of that. I mean, there'll be research that's talk about retention and the benefits of it, the health benefits of it, or whatever. That's cool. I'm not gonna recommend you ejaculate 6 times a day. For anybody, that is madness. A woman might get away with that because they're built different. A man, on the other hand, I don't recommend that. But I don't. I mean, I could play that game when I was 17, 20. Anybody even try to ask this of me now at 45? I'm like, you can go to hell. Straight to hell. I'm just saying. But I think Rochelle was gonna say something. I saw her light come on and.
Oh no! I was just laughing.
Oh, you. Yeah. I don't know, but I mean, there's some people who swear by the practice, so I'm not gonna just down it. There are many things that could help, but I again, right? I want to sustain a place of balance with love and relationships between men and women, or women and women, men and men. I don't care what your flow is. I'm like Dre. Do you? I don't care. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be happy. So this idea that a woman is taking from you, right? So you want to limit the amount of times you You know what I mean? It's like I mean, who else are you supposed to quote unquote provide for? Aren't you supposed to provide for her? So yeah, give her your energy. I mean,
Mm.
I don't understand. It's almost like you give and you take. Not you, Ali, but this concept of like we're at war with each other. Like we can't just coexist. It's like this battle that these lines are drawn, and you can't be too much of this and you can't be too much of that. And I'm just yeah, I'm not doing no damn semen
Balance,
retention. That's for sure.
balance.
I am not doing that. You can forget that, bro. Listen, I don't even know who'd even come up with that. Have you ever, man?
It's a beautiful thing though if you try it. And yeah,
I
you also
I
get to
tried it. I
experience how
tried it.
women feel.
I tried it all through junior high school and a lot of high school. Yes, and it was against my will. I'm
Oh,
good.
you're talking about not getting any at all.
Yeah, facts. So I'm good. I've been there, done that. I would not do that to myself voluntarily.
Yeah. Any other wild entertaining opinions you heard on the show?
Um. Well, I got to
You heard
listen to.
anything that you liked? Did you hear anything that you liked?
You know what? The women tend to bring balance most times. I heard something where the women, hurt my spirit, but I can't speak on that because y'all have yet to release that. So
Which
I'm
one?
not going to speak on that.
Oh,
I'm not speaking on what has not been released yet. I signed a non-disclosure agreement.
yeah.
So I will honor the NDA. Um, man, I wanted to the what is this? What is the word you use? Polygyny?
Polygyny. Yeah.
Like being perfectly transparent. I believe in polyamory. I do. Um,
Both ways.
yeah, I mean, I think everyone should do what works for them. So I'm as comfortable with a woman having as many male and female lovers as she desires for herself. Um, and whatever works for you, because it's a puzzle. It's like some.
Hold up, son.
Mm,
Hold up, son.
here we go.
You telling me you cool with some dude banging on your wife?
No,
I
that's not what
said,
he's saying.
hey, thank you so
No, what
much.
He
he's
just
saying. He's saying
said,
he's cool.
I'm gonna
He's
repeat what
cool
he
if
said.
Oprah wants to do it.
He's
I'm saying,
That don't
cool
mean he's
with
talking to Oprah.
women. He's cool with women
I'm so
having multiple
let me
male or
fine tune it.
female partners. That's what
I'm
he
cool
said.
with if
But
that's
You
that
what
don't
ain't
he
mean
gonna
he
come
wants
on
desires.
here and I don't check you, homie.
Listen, if that's what the woman
Fix up your
desires,
talk. Fix up your talk.
listen. But I'm saying if that's what the woman is into, that's what the woman is into. I'm a fan of you doing your thing. I'm a fan of you doing your thing. That wouldn't be my poly dynamic because my thing is this, right?
Oh, so do you
Listen,
until you doing it
listen,
with me?
listen. No. But
Well,
I
he
also
doesn't
maintain
even
this.
want another woman. He doesn't even want another woman. So
The
why would he
devil is
want
a
a woman
lie.
that wants
Don't let
another
me say
man?
that. Don't. I did not say that.
You
Here's
keep
what I'm
putting
saying.
words in people's mouth, boy. Let him talk.
Here's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought this was Mr. Monogamy. Sorry.
Who, me? No. Who told you
Yeah.
that? No. Far from
Oh,
it.
I thought you were saying there's one man to one woman and
I'm talking
nobody
about
needs
the
to cheat.
numbers. I'm not a fan of monogamy like that. I'm not against it, but I'm not pushing it The same way I'm not against polyamory. I'm not pushing it. It's my preference, but I don't think it's for everyone. Just same way I don't think monogamy is for everyone. Some people don't even want relationships at all. So I'm like, whatever it is your truth is, by all means, live that. I want you to live that. And I've also had this very interesting approach when it comes to my relationship. My relationship, this is how I see my relationship. If you cannot be your authentic self, to be in a relationship with me, then I'm not a good partner for you. You shouldn't be in a relationship with me. If you cannot be yourself, whatever that self is. If you can't be yourself, if you like women, you like men, and you can't express that, then you shouldn't be in a relationship with me. This is where I am when it comes to polyamory, right? I would love a triad. I would love to have a relationship with 2 women. I would love that, you know, but it would have to be something where everyone is served. The reason it wouldn't work for me with another man is that I'm not interested in another man. I'm not going to do anything with another man. I don't want another man to touch me. I'm not going to touch another man. So whomever comes into our situation, it has to be someone we can both enjoy. If it's not someone we can both enjoy, then that's not the thing I want to do. But there are relationships where it works different. There's solo poly. There's the partners can have other relationships that do not even intermingle with their relationship. So your wife has a girlfriend or a boyfriend on her own that has nothing to do with you, and you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, whatever it is, on your own that has nothing to do with her, and you maintain those relationships separately. Now that's called solo poly. Not interested in that because I'm trying to build. So everything that's happening, I kind of want to keep it within the safety of home, be it, you know, regular medical checkups and all that kind of stuff, because once you open the door, you're exposing yourself and your home to other people. You know what I mean? So I'd rather it be a closed poly situation.
So just so I'm clear, you are okay with polyamory as long as it's 2 women. You don't want a man banging on your wife.
That's for me. That's Michael's perspective. That's
so.
Michael's
What about your wife? What if she want a dude?
She got to find another man.
That's that double standard right there.
It's not a double standard. No. That is my preference. It's not a double standard. That is my preference. Because I'm not saying that can't happen. I'm just saying that can't happen with me. But I'm not going to shit on somebody that's doing it. I'm not going to sit here and say a woman can't have multiple male lovers. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying
just
that
I don't want to be a part of
work
that.
for me. That dynamic doesn't work for me, but I'm not going to sit here and say a woman shouldn't or couldn't have that.
So you saying you cool with your wife doing it? That's what I'm trying to get at, man. Stop dancing. Stop dancing.
No, I'm not. But that's me. But there are some men who are.
I'm saying other women, it's okay if women want to be into that. It's okay if women want to be into that.
He
doesn't want a woman that's into
it's
that.
It's okay if men want to be into that. I'm saying I'm not into that. You get what I'm saying?
He's open to polyamory on his terms. That's what he said.
But okay, Drake. So listen to what I'm saying. Some women might hear him and say, "Oh my gosh, this is the man of my dreams. Let me go do this." But some women gonna be like, "Hell nah, go sit down. If you wanna have somebody, we all gonna have somebody. Everybody gonna have somebody to love in this relationship."
If his woman won't have nobody. No, he's saying if his woman wants 2 men, that's not his woman.
That's not his woman.
Facts.
Right.
But he's okay with her doing what she wants to do.
That's not gonna be for him.
Basically.
Right.
So
because at the end of the day, my premise is this: if you can't be yourself to be with me, you shouldn't be with me.
Right.
And at least you are honest and you brought it to the forefront, and she didn't hear about it on the gram, right? So that's all I'm saying.
Yo,
right?
My aunt,
you kept it 100. You don't know.
No, my
aunt told me this funny thing real quick. My aunt said, "You know, y'all men want more than one woman, and you can't even please one. You got one woman going around here." And I thought about that statement, and I thought about it for years. And then it finally dawned on me. that when it's done right, the man actually has less work. I'm gonna let that. Y'all not ready for that answer yet.
When what's done right, Baba?
When the triple is done right, there's actually less work for the man. All right, yeah, Dre caught on. Right.
I don't
Dre
get
caught
it.
on. It took a minute. Some people are on dial-up. It's okay.
Oh, that is so disrespectful. That is so disrespectful. You gonna let him talk about us like this, Rochelle? I would not.
That's what I'm saying. This is not disrespectful. The
No,
thing is,
I don't
Ali
mean
and
just y'all. I
Ali
mean
and
everybody.
Dre.
Like whoever
Get
does
them,
it.
get them.
Nah. Ali and Dre never agree on nothing but except when they're shading people.
Get
That's
them.
the only time they agree, when they're shading people.
I never said I agree with Ali. I'm just
Right.
laughing because I
You just laugh.
understand what he's saying.
Listen. So I'm just put it like this, right? My perspective in polyamory is this: the ideal scenario for me is to be with a bisexual woman because I provide the masculine
Right.
and she can get the feminine somewhere else. I'm not trying to compete with the feminine because that is not my position. That's not my energy. Although I am comfortable in my femininity, I don't have a vagina or breasts. It's just what it is.
Talk your
But
talk, Mike.
so I'm not. So I'm just like the ideal scenario. You're with a bisexual woman. You're providing the masculine, and then a woman will provide the feminine, and then that woman would be ideally another bisexual person because you're providing the masculinity for her, and your other partner providing the femininity for her. So you close the whole circle. Everybody gets.
So don't talk about the numbers. Don't talk about the numbers. Just say it's what you want to do, right, Mike?
I mean, I'm good. I'm good at there. I'm good at 1-1-1. I'm good right there. I don't need 3, 4, 5. I ain't got time for that. Again, remember,
Right.
every time you give off your energy, I ain't trying to give off all that kind of energy.
Yeah. But not even if you want to live this lifestyle, don't say it's because there's a mismatch in the quantity.
No. Absolutely
be
not.
full-hearted that's what you want to do.
No, absolutely not.
Regardless of if the numbers was against you.
No, absolutely not. For a long time, I kind of knew that I was, and I was doing it the wrong way in the beginning. And my older brother, I remember we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and he confronted me with one of my girlfriends, well, two of the girls that I was seeing. These are actually women. One of them was actually older than me. And him and his woman confronted me with them and was like, bro, you got to do better than this. You shouldn't be lying to these people and blah, 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 blah. And from that moment on, I just kept it 100 because I realized, it's really, you're only hurting yourself. I mean, you're hurting the person you're lying to, but you're actually hurting yourself because you can't be honest. And then there's nothing more freeing than being able to, you're seeing multiple people. And this is when I was single. You're seeing multiple people and you can travel freely. You can go into the city, you can go out of the city, you can go on vacation, you can go anywhere, you can go to the mall, there's no concern of who's gonna see you where. You just out and they understand. I'm with this person today, if you call me and I can't talk to you, I'll let you know that I'm out. I'll call you when I get home, and if you want to arrange something tomorrow or even later that night, we could do that too. That's fine. But so
and then there's a
I've been
different
poly for a
freedom.
while.
There's a different freedom when there's trust involved, and
absolutely.
less jealousy.
I don't know about less jealousy, but there's more freedom because what I find with a lot of the blogs and groups that I participate in that are poly, that point towards polyamory, jealousy doesn't go away. I mean, not that it doesn't go away because of the society we're raised in. Most of us are raised in this monogamous construct. So we're going against that programming. And that programming, the monogamy creates this possessiveness, creates this inherent jealousy. It takes a while to get past that. It takes a while to get past that. It's almost to get back to pure love. The best form of pure love, I'd say, is that with siblings. Not too many siblings are jealous of the love that their parents have for them. You get what I'm saying? You're children together, but you all realize you're sharing these people. You're sharing your parents, you're sharing their love, but not too many people are jealous of the love that they're sharing from their parents. So it's to get back to that space. We can love more than one person, and we can be comfortable with being loved in addition to. Like, I have 6 siblings. I'm not jealous of the love that they get. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I saw Rashad's box light up. I'm watching her. I don't
Okay,
overtalk her.
so let me. So, do both of your partners, do they live in the same home with you, or do they live in different homes?
Oh, I don't have that going on right now. I am. It's just
Okay,
my wife and
so
myself.
It could be either or.
When I was actively polyamorous, everybody had their own place, and I was doing what would be considered solo poly. They knew of each other, but they never interacted with each other. So I interacted with them. They all had me in common, but they never interacted with each other. They knew about each other, but they never interacted with each other.
Okay.
That's not what I would do now. What I would do now is I don't know. I would say what I would prefer, but it would obviously my wife has an input. Best case scenario would meet everybody under the same roof, but we're doing so many different things now. We probably would be better served for someone who kind of had their own thing going on, as much as we did. So we take trips and go visit, and they come visit, that kind of deal, versus everybody under the same roof. Because it's just been the two of us for so long. It's like, Dre, how long has it been? Like 14 years, maybe.
Just about. That's about it.
It's been the two of us for a long time. Like, I let go of polyamory when we got together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she knew that when she met you.
She had an idea. There was some gray space. I wasn't as forward as I was with everybody else. So yeah, but she kind of put it out there that she wasn't interested in that. So I was interested in her, so I went her way. As we're older now,
this is a different discussion for like a different day.
We can do that
because I have so many questions now. But that's
ask away. We're here.
Listen.
Get me while you have me.
So you said the jealousy never goes away. But what if both of them like, no, I need you at this time? Like, how are you able to like split yourself? If both of them are like, we need you and you have like, it's an emergency.
Rochelle,
who would you choose?
What if both of your kids need you at the same time? Who would you choose? Ooh. That went through her for a
because
loop.
you can't answer that question until you're actually in it. It's a theory, but at the end of the day, you really do not know what you would do unless you're faced with that. And I don't have that issue now. It's just my wife and myself. So we do not have that issue, and I've never been in that scenario while I was single solo poly. I'll tell you a story. One of my partners, well, former partners, because I'd stopped seeing her, kind of confronted us in the beginning of our relationship. And she was like, well, there's a schedule. He sees this person this day, and he sees me here, and then he sees this one on the weekend. So where are you fitting into all of this? It was like one of those things. And so there weren't any conflicts because of whether I knew it or not, there was kind of a schedule and there was kind of an understanding. I didn't even realize that it was being tracked like that until this person literally said it like that. And I was like, oh shit, she's right. I was like, there was just an understanding. These days belong to X, these days belongs to Y, and these days belong to Z. And that was just what it was.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Would you get married to two women?
I'm not even an advocate of marriage anymore. I'm not. I don't recommend it to anyone. I think you can have partnership, you can build businesses, you can do all kinds of stuff. You don't have to get married. Um, so no, I wouldn't. However, if it provided validation for if we found someone, if my wife and I found someone and we cared enough about that person and it meant that much to the person to be recognized that way, then I'd be open to it. But we'd have to be on the same page as far as that's concerned. But as a rule, I'm not even a fan of marriage at this point. I'm happily married, don't
Why
get me
not?
wrong, because it's not necessary.
Yo, there was marriage before there was signing of papers. Let me just throw that out there.
There was relationships before there was signing of papers. Like the people,
But not a man and a woman committing themselves to God?
to God. God is a new construct, a new concept, and it depends which God we talking about. We talking about Odin? We talking about Zeus? Who we
The
talking about?
monotheistic God. Just one God. Anything that believed in one. Before there was signing the papers, there had to be a marriage. You know what I mean? Slaves got married. They didn't sign any papers.
If we're going back, so the monotheistic God just showed up. He's the newest one on the scene. Before him, you can go to Egyptology if you want to. We can go to Greek mythology. All of them predates the mono. If we want to look at human history, they all do. And yeah, they were people swearing vows in front of whichever deity they believed in or whatever. Sure. But there were other cultures. It all depends on the culture. Some cultures, they don't have a concept of that, but they have a concept of partnership. You get what I'm saying? They have a concept of relationship. So marriage, you don't need marriage to have a valid relationship. That's my position. I'm not saying relationships are to be frowned upon. I'm just saying you don't need marriage to have a successful relationship. Like a lot of people put a lot of weight on marriage. They put more weight on the concept of being married than actually being in a healthy relationship, which is why a lot of marriages fail because people treat them like a magic bullet. Like things are supposed to happen when you're married. This is your husband. This is your wife. Nah. Why don't you have a good relationship first? Then figure out that part.
I agree.
Big
I think
fact.
a lot of people.
Big
No,
fact.
I agree. I think a lot of people. We all grew up watching Disney. And we also saw that beautiful sentence at the end. They lived happily ever after. The only part that they show us in Disney is the prince trying to get the girl.
They don't show
Nothing
you when he
happens
beat
after
her.
that. Exactly, right? He already killed this dragon. Of course he have trauma, but they gonna live happily ever after? Are you kidding me? Right? He already killed everything to come find you. He killed the evil stepmother, blah blah blah. Of course he gonna beat you. You know what I'm saying?
They don't show you when the wife denies the husband of sex.
All of that. Yeah, they don't show all of that.
Right.
They don't.
Anyway, Ali, that only happened to you. You're the only person who said that happened to you. Nobody else. Okay? So that's
Yo, don't
some
touch
Ali
me.
problem.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Listen, man. Listen. I offer coaching and advice when it comes to that. If dudes are open enough, honest enough to be like, yo, I think I could use a little help here. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Because
Yeah.
listen, there's enough love to go around. It doesn't. It helps.
Yeah.
I think it just helps everyone to be the best partner you can possibly be. I mean, that was scary. Like when I got those numbers about women and how many women aren't even having orgasms, like that was scary. Like I called every woman that I could think of and asked, and they were like, "Yep, that's true." I was like, and I asked one, it broke my heart because she's like 30, 32. I was like, "When's the first time you had an orgasm?" She's like, "I haven't yet." I was like, "What the what?"
Yeah, no. I'm gonna tell you, my girlfriend, she been married for a minute. And then I don't know, we were talking, and she was like, "Yeah, I've never experienced anything like that." I was like, "What the hell? Why did you marry him? Like, didn't you do a test run? Like,
But the
is
test
he
run
gonna?"
don't tell you nothing.
Oh yeah, it does. It tell me.
It can.
Because
It can.
it can, but if he can't bring me there, I don't need to be with you because we never gonna get there. You don't know the road to the place.
Well,
I can't know.
I'm gonna put that
But
on. I'm gonna put that on him
that
and
go
her.
against the
That's both their
doesn't
fault.
that go against the doesn't that go against the religious concept of waiting till marriage to have sex?
There are many ways. You don't have to have intercourse. There are many ways to get there, though. There's not
No,
one
no,
road. There's not one
no,
path.
no.
Are
Sex
you
is
saying no?
sex.
Yeah.
Sex
No,
is
hold
sex.
on.
You
Hold
should
on. There are
refrain from
levels.
all sexual
There are
activity
levels.
before
Hold
you're
on. There are
married
levels.
because that is
Listen.
corruption.
For somebody who said that he don't believe in this God because he knew, I love how you're able to just pull up back the Bible
Well, listen,
and
I
say
never
this.
said I
Okay.
wasn't indoctrinated. I spent
Anyway.
the
Okay.
first
Okay.
35 years of my life as a Seventh-day
I love how
Adventist.
these people who don't believe in the one God, they always know everything that everybody else should be doing.
Because we were
But I'm just
indoctrinated in
saying.
it. So I know what you're supposed to be doing because I know what I was supposed to be doing when I was a believer, quote unquote. I was told I should refrain from sexual immorality. So that means fornication, and fornication is an umbrella. Everything sexual falls under the fornication umbrella.
Well, listen, I'm not buying no puss in no bag. My grandmother and my mother teach me, don't go to the market and buy no puss in no bag. I ain't doing that.
So
okay?
I'm asking you, see that? So why then, and this is just me playing the advocate, so why then do some women, I'm not going to even say most, but why do some women treat men like pariah when they're trying to open the bag to check the puss?
No, hold on now. Okay, as you said, there are levels to this thing. This is not you. this is, so people want to go into the bag on the first 5 minutes of meeting. Go sit down with that.
I think that's the most honest bag.
We are in a committed relationship. We're about to get married. We are engaged. A matter of fact, the minute we get engaged, we're literally married. Okay? Literally. Right? Me going before nobody, that don't mean nothing to God. You put that ring on my finger, you say, can you be? Yeah, we're already married. Okay? When Isaac,
I thought the priest had to do it. Okay.
Isaac literally saw the woman. He said, okay, come. My mom died right here. Let me take you in right here. I'm going to know you right now. You're my wife. That was it.
He said, I'm going to know you right now. You know what that meant, right?
That's what he said. Yes. Right away. There was no, I'm sure he never had no conversation. He was just like, yo, that's my girl. Bring her into the tent. Let me get
back
this
in them days, you
right?
understand, back in those days, quote unquote, knowing a woman is what the marriage was. So having sex with a woman, that's what made a woman your wife.
That's my very point.
If we apply these principles today, you understand you are married to every man that you ever had sexual relations with.
And the man needs to know that too. He married to every woman he ever lived with.
Yes, Mike. Let them know.
I agree. Yo,
let
Dre's
them
only
know,
here
Mike.
for the shade. Dre and Ali, they're only here for shade. They're not here for truth.
Yes, Mike. Nah, Mike. That point that's sharp, my brother. That point that's sharp.
I hope you know that when it comes to men too. So every woman that you've ever laid out with, that's your wife.
Yes, I am.
So y'all should be minding all these women.
People be saying they are monogamous and had sex with 10, 20, 30 people, 40, 50, and say they monogamous just because they did that one time.
Well, I mean, it's splitting hairs, but it's technically true. But they just have like 40 husbands.
Imagine the men, they have like a 90 wives, 100 wives. 200 wives.
Listen.
It's the same thing. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. What's good for the goose is going to be good for the gander.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. What I was about to say is that Ali brought up a good point. This is Wagwan After Dark. This has to be a session. We're going to have this Pimpinella here come on, and we can have these discussions. And it could be...
I got to go, and this man just be talking, and I don't want to leave.
I know,
so...
I have that effect.
I'm giving you the window here, right? For let's close. But what I interrupted to say was, I believe a lot of men be lying. I don't think a lot of men be having 30 women.
Listen,
They be lying.
most men are lucky if they get to 5 before they're married.
See?
That is a fact.
See?
Dre, I'm with you right there. That
They be
number,
lying.
no. Most men, it takes an exceptional person, man or woman, to get up to like 50 bodies. It does. Most women aren't going to take that many risks. Even if she can, most women aren't going to take that many risks. And most men do not have that opportunity. Remember, we're rejected more often than not.
Yep. And most people can't deal with rejection. They be lying.
Yeah. Ain't no. She said 90. I'm like, man, you know who you'd have to be to get to 90.
Lying. I don't think. Listen, the amount of men. Let me not even say that because
the amount of rejection. You know how many? You would have to be rejected by 20,000 women to get to 90. That's the ratio. Am I lying, Dre? Am I lying?
It's almost there. You're right.
You're gonna run out of life before you run out of rejections to get to 90. You're gonna run.
The only way you get there, like,
be a celebrity, man.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. Like when you said you have to be an exceptional human being, that's when you got some level of celebrity, some level of stardom, that's when you get to those numbers because chicks are chasing you. You're not chasing chicks at that point.
Facts. So she said 90. I cringed. I was like 90.
Yo,
putting up those numbers.
Hold up. I'm going to represent for the not celebrity, but taller than 6'2" men and say anything is possible.
Pull it.
Anything is possible. It's just not probable.
Ali said that ain't me. Ali said y'all talking, but that ain't me.
I've definitely had sex with over 30 women. I don't want to say the exact number, but I'm not saying it like it's a stripe, though. It's actually a negative thing, I think, now looking back. If I could redo it again, I would have sex with 3-4 women the most.
Alive.
Now that I understand that sexual energy and passing it around, you know?
That's true. That's good. That's wisdom.
Listen to me, Ali. Listen to me very carefully. I'm going to drop the biggest piece of wisdom you can use throughout many levels in your life. There are some things that you have to learn by experience. Time and experience is what will be the only teacher for certain things in life. So you say, in hindsight, you would only do 3 or 4. Most people with that sense of thought have walked the road you walked to come to that idea. So appreciate where you have.
You know how many, I don't want to say, but you know how many babies had to get aborted for me to come to that conclusion? You know what I'm saying? It's not a good thing.
Irresponsibility. That's not because you slept with 30 women.
That's because you acting a damn fool.
For real. Yes. I feel that though. You're saying you had to. Most people that have been down the road will be able to say that.
Yeah. Like, listen, wanty can't get it, and get it don't want it, right?
Don't want it.
And so, if you've never walked that road, you don't know what you went through down that road to appreciate. Damn, if I had known, I wouldn't have. While the guy who's struggling to get 2 is wishing he can get 30.
Call me now. That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
The grass is always greener, man.
Yeah.
Trust me. The high body count is nothing. It's nothing.
So you say everybody got to go through a whole phase?
No, everybody don't got to go through a whole phase, but a lot of people end up doing it.
I'm saying don't disregard your whole phase. It taught you the true value.
He's still in his whole phase. I can feel it in his spirit. He's still in his whole phase.
That response shows that it's a yes. That response says to me, yes. That response says, hell yes.
I'm just talking shit.
You can have a soulmate.
Listen,
you can have a soulmate who you're not supposed to have sex with. You know?
What you talking
Does that
about,
make
Willis?
any sense?
Yeah,
I'm
no, it
saying
doesn't.
your
No,
friend
it
can
doesn't.
be your soulmate. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
I mean, I believe
Ali's
that. I'm
tired.
married to her.
Ali's tired.
What are you
And he's
talking
just
about?
saying crazy stuff right now. So let's use this opportunity to put
Ali
a
took a
pause
gummy.
on this one.
Ali took a gummy. That's what happened. He had a gummy.
Let's put a pause right here. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bless up.
Bye.
All right.